Okay, new rules. Motherfucker. So far in this series, I stated that we would be choosing what restaurants we visit in Little Rock based on an Excel spreadsheet and a random number generator. But if any of you recommends us a restaurant in the comments, that restaurant will jump to the top of the pile. Last time, someone recommended Leo's Greek Castle, so we went there. Early on a Saturday, we took a drive and got within a few blocks of Leo's Greek Castle when we were stopped in our tracks by some sort of festival which blocked off the roads. So we got the hell out of there. And made our way to Leila's Gyro, since we now had a hankering for some gyro meat. Now, I have a love-hate relationship with the Greeks and restaurants. See, in a lot of places, the Greeks run a damn good diner. But where I'm from, the Amish-run diners were always way better. So when the Greeks moved in and took a lot of those places over, they actually got significantly worse. On the other hand, just about anywhere else that has a Greek-owned diner isn't a bad place to be. So let's fuck around and find out. We went to check out Leila's Gyro and started with an order of the baba ganoush, which might genuinely be the least attractive looking food I've ever seen. I'm not even remotely joking when I say that there are probably several animals whose feces look more appetizing than this. Also, it tasted like nothing, so it wasn't worth scooping up this gray snot with pita bread and forcing down my gullet. We then got a couple gyro sandwich platters with fries, and damn, there's something about Greek restaurants and fries that just hits hard. I'm not even a big French fry guy. In fact, McDonald's fries are quite possibly the most overrated food in the universe. But these hit that perfect spot where they're delightfully crispy on the outside, but you still get a good amount of fluffy potato content on the inside. The gyros we had were pretty mid. We could see into the kitchen and didn't spot one of those spinning gyro meat things, so we knew it was just warmed up pre-made gyro meat. Also, the tzatziki sauce didn't have good balance, so it just tasted sour instead of bright. Also, the actual gyro was hurting for some fresh veggies. So it was just dry pita bread, bland sauce, and bland meat. But here's the thing, Leila's Gyro is cheap as shit. Probably one of the most inexpensive sit-down meals I've had as long as I can remember. So while the actual food is probably somewhere in the ballpark of a 4, for the price, I guess I gotta raise it up to a 5.1 out of 10. Let me get my biases out of the way here, Arkansas, but your pizza is complete horseshit. To be more specific, by my estimation, there are 2 types of pizza you'll find here. Hipster horseshit and regular horseshit. If you go into a pizza shop and you're not sure which one it is, look for the words Mike's Hot Honey somewhere on the menu. If it's there, it's hipster horseshit. US Pizza Company is a local chain with 13 locations around Arkansas, and they're just regular horseshit. A real horseshit of the people, you know? I went there and tried some of their horseshit pizza. To be fair, it had a nice thin crust and a good crisp. But to be even more fair, it was crisp the way a saltine cracker or some dilapidated drywall are crisp. It also didn't taste particularly good, like someone forgot to season the dough entirely. And the sauce was just as bland, like no one there has ever heard of salt or oregano or anything that might accidentally make the food taste good. Now look, there's plenty of horseshit pizza to be found in Arkansas, but I think US Pizza Company pisses me off more than most. I'm not saying only Italians can make pizza, but if you're going to sell pizza and litter your menu with vaguely Italian dishes and Italian ingredients, you could at least lean into the fact that you were inspired by Italy. But I mean, look at this shit. Their mascot looks like he's about to be killed in the ring by Ivan Drago. This looks like a mattress store that's having a holiday sale. This is all horseshit. 2.8 out of 10. The same person who recommended Leo's Greek Castle also suggested Saigon Noodle Station. So I went there with some friends. Yeah, I have friends. Who said I don't, you ugly motherfucker? Anyway, we went to type Saigon Noodle Station into the GPS and it suggested directions to Ho Chi Minh City, formerly Saigon in South Vietnam. And to this day, I still wonder how Google Maps planned to get us there by car. But we went to Saigon Noodle Station to sample the delicacies of, well, about a half dozen Asian countries, as many Asian restaurants are known to do. But Saigon Noodle Station is at least thematically mostly Vietnamese. We started with an order of their chicken wings, which the menu described as being seasoned to perfection and finished with fresh herbs, but which hilariously came topped with a single sprig of cilantro. But these were some damn good wings. They weren't sauced, they weren't dressed, just well cooked, well seasoned, crisp, and tender. Simplicity at its finest. We also started with what the menu called Vietnamese honey sausage, which I ordered because I hadn't seen anything like that before. It was pretty tasty, like really sweet, salty, smoky, fatty. We then got a couple of their banh mi sandwiches, and they were just okay. The banh mi is one of my favorite sandwiches in the entire world, so perhaps my hopes were a little bit too high. But in the grand pantheon of banh mi sandwiches, this one was somewhere in the middle. See, a good banh mi is a symphony of flavors. The fattiness of roasted pork and mayo, the sweet sour of pickled veggies, the heat from fresh jalapeno, and the herbaceousness of cilantro, all tucked inside a good French baguette. This hit on some of those notes, but missed on others. Not enough cilantro, the veggies consisted of a single slice of cucumber and some shavings of carrot, neither of which were pickled. Overall, not a terrible sandwich, but for a banh mi sandwich, it could have been a lot better. Now, this would be the part where you could criticize me for going to Saigon Noodle Station and not getting any noodles, but the truth is, I simply don't like pho. I've had it several times and it just doesn't suit my tastes. So even if I had tried it, I highly doubt I could rate it objectively. So I'll just have to take that knock on my credibility. But for what I sampled from Saigon Noodle Station, it was good but has quite a bit of room for improvement. A 6.1 out of 10. I've previously mentioned the love I've discovered for fried catfish in the Deep South, which we'll explore further by checking out Shark's Fish and Chicken. Now, there's a lot of these what I call local chains that have several locations but all in one part of the country. But Shark's Fish and Chicken has legitimately been one of the hardest to find concrete info on. I think there are 12 locations around Arkansas, possibly more. I give up. But what's important to note here is that Shark's is mid as fuck. I got a catfish fillet dinner with fries and hush puppies and it just wasn't there. It wasn't seasoned very well, very bland. But it's important to provide the proper context. Compared to just about any other fried catfish spot you'll find around here, it's gonna be toward the bottom. Compared to like fucking KFC or Long John Silver's, it's pretty good. If a friend wants to grab lunch real quick or your office is having lunch catered, Shark's isn't terrible and you could do a lot worse. It just isn't a place I'd ever choose to go to if I had more than a minute to think about, you know? But in the totality of food options, it's a 4.7 out of 10. Let me be real clear and upfront about more of my biases. Biases? I'm a Yankee. And while you can find fried chicken most anywhere, my understanding is that people take it much more seriously around these parts. I mean, there's a reason you often hear the phrase Southern fried chicken. What I'm arriving at is that although I'm no stranger to fried chicken, I acknowledge that there exists a culture for it that I haven't spent a lot of time in. So your mileage of my opinions on it may vary. Gus's world-famous fried chicken is a chain founded in Mason, Tennessee, back in the 1950s. Which has since expanded across 14 states and apparently into China soon. The original location was called Maggie's Short Orders after founders Napoleon and Maggie Vanderbilt. But when their son Gus inherited the restaurant and fried chicken recipe, he changed the name to Gus's Fried Chicken. Wow, Gus, what a piece of shit you are. I mean, holy shit, you took something handed down to you by your parents, ripped your own mother's name off of it, and named it after yourself. That is some generationally selfish garbage shit. Anyway, we went to Maggie's, and got a couple two-piece darks with greens and fries. And it was good. If you're ever ordering fried chicken and you willingly choose white meat over dark, I want you to go ahead and click off this video, unsubscribe, and never come back. Because I don't want my audience to ever be that stupid. Now, the fried chicken was well seasoned, which I know for many is the benchmark of good fried chicken. But what was great about this chicken was the cook. Crisp on the outside while fall off the bone tender on the inside. Real good shit. I'm sure there's plenty of better fried chicken to be found out here in the South, but considering this is a chain with locations from here to California, Gus's did the job and impressed. I stand by Gus being a world-class piece of shit for erasing his parents' legacy, but 7.1 out of 10. I'll be sure to hit up Leo's Greek Castle for the next one, but if there's any other spots in Little Rock you want to see reviewed, throw them in the comments and I'll see you when I see you.